In a land where the sun sets after 9 p.m., we get set to bring you an evening of good old-fashioned monster truck competition on legendary soil and legendary ground. Last night, things got nasty out here on the track. Very muddy conditions. Today, it's going to be beautiful weather for show number 2, night number 2, here at the legendary Fowlerville Fairgrounds with the monster truck throwdown. Last night, it was John Zimmer Jr. with the clean sweep, starting on a dry track under sunny skies, finishing on a very muddy track after torrential rains almost wiped us out, and a rain delay brought us back under sunset. Beautiful sunset, but a lot of mud on this track today. As you can see, very dry track. This is a little bit earlier, the best trick competition, and Elliott Miller literally started this thing off on the right foot. Putting that big block Sean horsepower to work, brought it back on all 4 tires. I wouldn't say back from the brink of destruction looking at that C10 body. It's shredded, but Miller knew he gave the judges something to think about. The Frontier Truck Parts Sinistar, representing the Frontier Truck Parts crew out of the state of Michigan, right here at home. Proud to have him representing them. Watch it again. Not what he was going for. He got a nice over-rotation there, opened things up with a score of 9. Remember, a perfect score is 10, so he knew he made it hard on everyone behind him, and so did they. Check this out. John Kohler, second-generation driver in Magma. Almost wiped out our camera there, and it wouldn't last too much longer, by the way, so don't get used to it being there, but it was able to get us a nice view of that wheelie. We'll show you in just a moment, but Kohler going after that 9. He knew he was going to have to do something special. Back-to-back slap wheelies, dragging the back of that CRC chassis. John Kohler out of Columbus, Michigan. Another one from up here at Cold Country. Watch this. Right across the left side of that camera, the thing that was making everybody cringe was watching him get that close to that pole. Kylie Kent, one of her first competitive drives here in a monster truck at the wheel of the Send It Motorsports Sinistar, only able to score a 3 as she tries to get that seat time in, carrying the colors for Rock Bottom here tonight. Elliott Miller still hanging on in the number 1 spot as she carries the name of his team, Sinistar Motorsports, for the weekend. Athena Cozell in her first full, the rookie season, the Rookie of the Year on the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. Saw her over there trying to get the hang of those slab wheelies. Trying to get used to this old Brian Bartle built chassis. This thing still hanging in there, proving its worth. As she takes out one of the Ute tires, only able to score a 4, but she's got more for us. When she comes back for freestyle tonight, I guarantee you she's going to show him something. Joe Foley and Axe out of Leicester, Massachusetts, representing Team Scream out of Michigan. That is his specialty, walking the wheelies up and over the race lanes. Foley wasn't done by a long shot, showing off the 2-wheel moves. Another V-cradle machine, this one built in 2008, a 2007 design by Jim Kohler. That Kohler actually built 2 for the Robbins team out of the Buffalo, New York area with Crazy Training, Playing Crazy. Here's the man himself, Mr. Excitement. Team Scream with the Sky Wheelie, hammer in the back of that Corey Rummel built machine, Avenger out of Columbus, Michigan. Not able to get what he wanted out of the run. A big, heavy machine, mid 14,000 plus pound monster truck. Now the soon-to-be Hall of Famer, alongside Jim Kohler, I'm sure John Zimmer Sr. in uproar. Very capable driver. Former Gravedigger driver, though only scoring a 5. So the two future Hall of Famers there landing in good company, but neither getting quite what they wanted on a very silty soil up here in Fowlerville. The wild man himself and tailgater, Tim Jones. Having purchased this name a few years ago now from Doug Nolke, put it on this coil-sprung concussion motorsports chassis. Plenty of horsepower to work with. Not able to get what he wanted in the scoring department, though, but serving notice that he is ready to go after the biggest names in this field, including this guy, John Zimmer Jr., Terminal Velocity, the 2024 All-Star Monster Truck Tour Monster Mashers Points Champion. Took that title away from Triton Robbins, who was the 2023 champion. You see the blue beadlock on that truck. He damaged a rim yesterday, had to borrow one from his father, so hopefully John Sr. does not need that. But you are seeing right here why this guy is a champion and why he will likely be a Monster Jam champion in 2025. We'll see if that comes to fruition, because he is headed for the company. Right now, though, trying to get another clean sweep started here in Fowlerville, night number 2. Remember, he was the clean sweep. He was the champion yesterday with a clean sweep. 2 moonwalks stood that one up on the trench box. And we got cameras capturing this thing from all angles as he walks it out across this track. He had a little hand in designing this thing, by the way, as this thing's this weekend kind of being considered the Independent World Finals. But John Zimmer Jr. again trying to make certain that he sets himself up for a second clean sweep, and he would indeed get the number 1 score in this best trick competition.
Winner of the night, John. Same place as last night for all 3 competitions. You're starting off good again.
I'm starting off good. You know, I'm out here shaking. I'm nervous. My truck's giving me problems. I'm back there in the back fighting it, trying to get my tires to hold air, and they're just not cooperating with me. Borrowed one of my dad's tires. Sorry, Dad. Just took your stuff. Took the win right from you.
He took the parts, took the win. Now, like you said, you were back there working on the truck. You do work on the truck a lot, but you got a great crew behind you, don't you?
We have an absolutely phenomenal crew. Everybody here is not in my crew at Send Motorsport. Throwdown, Team Scream, Elliot Miller's crew back there. Everyone's trying to get us all back out here because we're all friends behind the scenes. You know, when that helmet comes on, we're enemies, but we don't want to see any of us miss a competition. That's why we do what we do. We come right out here and burn it down.
This presentation is brought to you by Monsters Monthly, your place for photos, videos, event info, and all the happenings in the monster truck industry. Visit monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For a weekly look inside the wide world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, a monster truck podcast. Available on Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube.
The world-famous C60 Cyclops, the infamous Dodge Carryall Unnamed and Untamed. Get yourself a one-of-a-kind toy of a Mudbogger turned monster truck at freedomracingnt.com.
This program is brought to you by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com. Your high-performance fix on the go.
Back on a beautiful evening here in Fowlerville, Michigan, as the sun begins to set. Don't worry, it's not getting cloudy back there again. You can see some clouds off in the distance, but no storms this evening as we get ready for monster truck qualifying to set the bracket. Remember, only 8 trucks will make the racing field. Starting things off, John Kohler and Megabuck. It's a fast track, but it is a driver's track. 16.30 seconds to set the pace early in the field. Up next, John Zimmer in Uproar. How you get in and out of this turn will make all the difference in the world. When you get 2 trucks down that alleyway, it's going to get tight. Zimmer very quick. A 15.58 second run and launches over the starting line. Mogul back toward the hot pits. Here comes Athena Kozel now. Little Miss Dangerous. Athena out of Mount Pleasant, Texas, handling the driving duties of the Perrin's old namesake out of the state of Michigan, driving this machine out of the state of Michigan. I mentioned this truck was built by Brian Bartle, debuted in 2002, this chassis. Designed after an early Patrick Gen 1 chassis. Still making tracks out here. A 19.98 second run, though. May not get her in the field, but she's going to be likely sitting on that bump spot until someone beats her, but she may have a prayer yet. We'll see if she can hang on in there. Right now, as tailgater Tim Jones rolls out of the Show Me State. He will not leave anything on the table, believe me. Look at him pre-steer. That's going to hurt him. He will not be able to get away with that with another truck over there. But he flies across the finish line in 1875. Hold on, Tim Jones just took out the fence, and our starting line camera is gone. Tim Jones overshoots a little bit there. Took out the grapes on the fence over there. Those were grapevines dangling in front of our camera lens there, and he just made him some wine, I believe. Look at the launch over the finish line jump, couldn't get it slowed down, hit that hill sideways, and down goes the fence. I think they were going to rip that out anyway. Tim just gave him a leg up, as we'll get another look at it from the starting line cam. Watch him coming right into your living room. Rear tire is what took it out. Took the fence down with the front tire, took the camera out with the rear tire, as Kylie Kent rolls out now. John Zimmer Sr. in the lead with a 15.58. Conservative run, but it may play to her favor. Let's see how she gets through this turn. Not a bad run. Again, trying to get that all-important seat time. Maybe a little tentative here, but a solid run, 20.53. She will not better Athena Kozel. Coming out next. Here comes Joe Foley in X. Beautiful pass for the machine out of Michigan. Not going to get to the number 1 spot, but he flies across the end of the track. His boss coming out now, Mr. Excitement. Just watched his old truck go down the track. That mid-wheelbase axe is about perfect for a track like this. If we get that pre-steer right, he's going to be very hard to beat. Let's see what Kohler does. The longer wheelbase of the 3 trucks here tonight. Very low-slung machine. Slows down a bit to take the final jump, a 17.03. I don't know that he was worried about getting top time, just making the field at this point. Having watched those guys come across the finish line, he may not be worrying about it. As we get a look at the bracket for round 1 of racing, Elliott Miller was not able to make the call for qualifying, and Tim Jones was not able to get his second truck fired. Twisted Addiction was supposed to make a run. You saw it, that That machine was not in our best trick competition, so it'll be Uproar taking on Terminal Velocity, who didn't even qualify. That will be interesting at the top. Axe versus Sinistar. Megabyte will take on Little Miss Dangerous, and Tailgater will take on the Avenger. First up, though, that father-son matchup, your number one qualifier, one of the best racers still in the business, John Zimmer Sr. in Uproar, now out of Howell, Michigan, by way of Arlington, Vermont, taking on his son and a very proud papa there, John Zimmer Sr., taking on John Zimmer Jr., who is not riding Dad's coattails by any means. This guy is making his own name in this business, and that's exactly what John Zimmer Sr. wanted to see out of his son as the two go at it. Two different types of drivers. Believe me, they both have their own driving style. It's going to make this very interesting for the number one qualifier hang on against the teammate. Junior checking out on Dad right now. John Zimmer Sr. was into the turn first, and John Zimmer Jr. lands hard on the other side of the starting line, Mogul. A wild landing right there. And he just signaled to the track officials that he thinks he broke something. So this could be an interesting development if John Zimmer Jr., after that win, is unable to come back. It remains to be seen. We still have to get through the rest of round one. But look at this landing on the other side of the starting line. A hard hit right there sideways on the brake. Stay with us. More to come from Fowlerville.
This presentation is brought to you by Pioneer Pole Buildings. Looking for reliable strength on your next building project? You want a partner as tough as the task ahead. Pioneer Pole Buildings. Built for you, built to last for over 25 years.
Back at the Fowlerville Fairgrounds with the Monster Truck Throwdown, getting ready for more round one racing. We have one truck through to the semifinals on paper, but John Zimmer Jr. was motioning to the officials he thinks he may have broken the truck as he was leaving the track. We're back on the starting line, though, with Kylie Kent teammate to Terminal Velocity. She got a good start there on Joe Foley, but he is checking out on her right now. Beautiful turn for Axe, keeping it tight with the U-tire, flying across the finish line. You got to tip your hat, though, to Kylie Kent and Sinistar. She hung in there for a while. The rookie driver showing her rookie colors may not last long, as she'll be getting a new ride in 2025. New Patrick chassis on the way for her, but right now handling the reins of Joe Sylvester's old ride with Elliott Miller's old body on it as Joe Foley flies the last half of the track. Goes ahead and runs it out the top end. John Zimmer Jr. did the exact same thing, but he landed sideways, and he's worried he may have damaged something in the drivetrain. As our next pair rolls up, John Kohler out of Columbus, Michigan in Megabyte. Little Miss Dangerous, the machine out of Middleville, Michigan. That's Elliott Miller's old chassis, originally built by Brian Bartle, driven by Athena Kozel out of the state of Texas. So a bunch of different background there, and she is late off the start. John Kohler leading her down the first stretch. Problem for Kohler. Kozel trying to take advantage of it. And he outpowers her to the finish line, locking it up on the bus. Athena Kozel nearly upset the second generation Team Scream driver. And watch this, something goes away on this truck on the landing right there. He loses power. You can see the tires lock up in the air. I'm not sure if he tagged the brake, landed hard, and caused a problem, or if something went wrong as he went over the jump. But she got on the throttle. The truck washed on her just a little bit. She doesn't quite have the horsepower to outrun the big Team Scream machine power in Megabyte. It's a heavier truck, a much heavier truck, but it's got a lot more horsepower to work with. And John Kohler, with those Michelins, those big treaded Megas, was able to get it to the ground. Now his father, Jim Kohler, Mr. Excitement in Avenger, takes on the wild man out of Missouri, Tim Jones in Tailgater. A little bit of a lead for Jones. How will they come into the corner? Kohler with the better drive through the corner will pick up his first round victory. Avenger going on to the semifinal round. Tim Jones giving him quite a run. Remember, though, Jones had that problem in qualifying where he went way wide. He gave up a little bit of experience on the track, and you have to wonder if that hurt him here. Watch again, though. He led Kohler all the way down the first straight to that hill, and then they evened up right there. The turn, though, for Kohler was the key. Very quick turn. He actually got out in front of literally 1-2 through the tires and back to that final jump. There's a little bit of leeway there. You can cross over in front of your opponent, provided you do not make contact with them. But here you see the bracket going in to our next round, and Terminal Velocity has made the call, so it'll be a pair of Willys Michigan-based machines, Terminal Velocity and Axe. And on the bottom half of the bracket, Megabyte and Avenger. Pair of Team Scream machines, father and son, doing battle there. So the heavyweights on the bottom side of the bracket and the lighter weight Willys-bodied machines on the top side. Even over the hill, but Zimmer was quicker off of it. Foley with a huge leap over the final jump. They both run it out the end of the track, but it will be Zimmer going to the championship race. He has won 1 of 3 competitions here on the evening. He was not able to qualify due to some damage suffered in the best trick competition. Manages to bounce back after not running a qualifying run. Very impressive. Had to work on the truck between rounds, by the way, as he was in the first pairing against his father. Had some trouble after he finished hard in the right lane, landing sideways by the fence. Joe Foley's been running out the end of the track all evening long, so he knew he was going to be a tough opponent, especially here on a dry track. Now, Team Scream Avenger, Jim Kohler taking on Little Miss Dangerous. Athena Kozel back in the bracket. Problems with Megabyte. They may have been electrical problems. Again, you saw him stall coming over this mogul going into the turn, so apparently still problems there. Kozel getting a little more experience here. Look at Kohler. Almost missed the jump. Not going to be grounds for a penalty as Kozel spun out in the corner. Still dealing with that over there. She almost high-sided that thing, getting on top of that tire. It got very dusty over there. She ended up in that smoke screen that Kohler left when he dirt tracked it around there. He took a big chance, though, going over that jump, going into the turn the way he did as he came off of it sideways, but he will get a berth in the final round. Here's how they got there. Uproar and Terminal Velocity, father and son there. The son got the job done. John Zimmer Jr. goes to the semifinal round, knocks out Axe, part of Team Scream, and will go to the finals against Avenger, who knocked out Tailgater in round 1, was slated to face his son John Kohler in Megabyte, who knocked out Little Miss Dangerous in round 1, but unfortunately, Athena Kozel, fortunately for her, got the berth into the semifinal round when John Kohler could not make the call. Jim Kohler takes advantage of it, makes his way into the championship race, and here he's got something for John Zimmer Jr. So, two generations going after each other. We didn't get the father-son matchup in the semifinal round. It was going to be interesting to see, but Jim Kohler has something for this new generation of monster truck driver, serving notice that he's not planning to let the new generation walk over the old guard just yet, and he comes off the line hard. Oh. Okay, apparently it's either a staging light malfunction or he just jumped the start. Not sure what happened there. We can't see the staging lights from here. I'm not sure if they gave him a thumbs up and Zimmer just wasn't on the line or what. It looked like they were still staging back there. Back on the line now, but that had to take him out of his concentration. As Kohler has to restage after a hole shot and a jump. Now he's got to get back in the mindset to beat one of the fastest here this weekend. Both of them bouncing a lot through that first no man's land. Kohler with problems in the turn. John Zimmer Jr. going to victory. Kohler overdrove the turn. He went after him, but the front end bouncing up cost him as he grabs a wheelie trying to make it through there. He was still steering into it, but it just wasn't going to happen for him with that front end in the air. So, John Zimmer Jr., 2 for 3 now. He has won 5 of 5 competitions staged this weekend. Here's another look at that championship race, and overdriving the turn was Jim Kohler. John Zimmer Jr. making short work of it. Look at him working his way through the turn, got the truck woed, and you can see Kohler wheeling around the corner. There was no hope for him once that front end got into the air. One more competition to go. Will it be a full clean sweep for terminal velocity this weekend? Find out when we come back. Freestyle is coming your way from here at the Monster Truck Throwdown in Fowlerville. Back in front of the crowd here at the Fowlerville Fairgrounds, the Monster Truck Throwdown continues. John Zimmer Jr. has won 5 of 5 competitions staged over this weekend here, and there's one more to go. We'll see if he can make it 6 for 6, the clean sweep. Don, owner of Sending Motorsports, pumping up the crowd. One of the Michigan favorites rolling out now, and a guy Don absolutely loves seeing hitting the track. Elliott Miller back out here, got his problem solved. The Frontier Truck Parts Sinistar, ready to start things off. Miller flat-footing this thing right now. Remember, he's got nothing to lose. He's already been upside down once today. Didn't have to get recovered as he was able to right that truck with his right foot, but we'll see if this thing stays on all 4 tires. As Miller said, he may go after the backflip, although he's in trouble here. Miller on the sidewalls, drives out of it. An impressive driving job there by the man from Middleville, Michigan. In front of his home state, folks. Wanting to show him something. Always a blast when Miller hits the track. Now playing on house money.
Are we having fun yet?
Gonna work every inch of this legendary soil here as his mentor and old friend Tim Bush helped get him started in this industry, and Miller bringing the thunder in for the home state folks. Blasting that van stack. And this time the bus stack will take him out. He bumps the side of it. I'm not sure what he was going for there. I think he may have been trying to wheelie across the top of that obstacle, and it was not to be as he punches the side of it. The truck comes to an abrupt stop, and Miller sits upside down. The crew getting him out of there. The power's off. You see some fuel leaking. We got fire extinguishers down here.
Hey, at least I don't have the backflip.
I feel like I did this the first stroke yesterday.
Well, there you hear it. Miller was planning on making a backflip, but there you see he got into that that freestyle stack over there off of the race lanes next to that backflip ramp. He got crossed up, hit it with the right two tires, got all the way over on the sidewalls, drove it out, hit everything that was in front of him, did not back up, did not shy away, as is his style, to just stay on that loud pedal. He drives the way he'd want to see somebody drive. When he was a kid, lifelong fan, living the dream, became a promoter, now a monster truck owner, multiple monster trucks on that team. And you see right there, he bumps the ramp going up to the bus stack, and he will score a 22. Solid score to start things off. An 8, a 7, and a 7 now. John Kohler in Megabyte, looking for a little revenge right now. Some thought he should have scored a little higher in that best trick competition. We'll see. He takes back some of that lost honor. Already going big, just getting warmed up though. This guy has definitely got something for this crowd here in Fowlerville. Absolutely massive air in that Corey Rummel built chassis. These are some very heavy machines, probably the heaviest trucks out here running right now are the Team Scream machines, save for Axe, Jim Kohler's old build, one of the lighter weight trucks on that team. But these trucks are definitely pushing the mid 14,000 pound range, maybe around 14.4 or 14.5, but they are built like tanks. It seems like just about nothing can hurt these machines, and John Kohler has proven that right now in Megabyte. Crisp the tune is on this engine, that blower whine. He's getting out. This thing sounds awesome right now. They were back there working on it. You remember in racing, he had some kind of electrical problem that cost him, couldn't get it back out on the track. Athena Kozel got his spot. Remember, she almost outran him. He was able to refire the truck and outpowered her down the final straightaway. But he's had kind of a rough go here on night number 2. He's making up for it now, though. Ripping off a donut, going wherever the truck sends him. I think he just took out a little more of the fence down there that Tim Jones laid down in qualifying. Our camera is still floating around in the grass out there somewhere. Go see if we find that thing, if it's still in one piece. But John Kohler shooting for that 22 again. Big hang time. The momentum has been great. The air time, the big leaps are what is going to push him over the top. Here in Megabyte, it looks like he's going to wrap up the run right there, getting in that mud over there. That is some of the leftover slop from last night, but you can see they really worked the mud out of this track. The grounds crew doing an outstanding job, but that right there so far has been the biggest air of the weekend. That was just huge right there, and then follows it up with this wild landing. Again, though, these trucks that Team Scream has come out of their shop that Corey Rummel built, designed, Just a great piece of equipment. A 24 by 2 points. He will jump over Elliott Miller as Kylie Kent, in her maiden voyage in competition, Sinistar. Rolling out of the Sendit Motorsports camp again. That is the old identity, or it's still the identity Elliott Miller carries, but that's his old body on that truck. So she's representing some very good company here tonight as Miller already turned the crowd on with the Frontier Truck Parts Sinistar. Now the Sendit Motorsports Sinistar, representing both Sendit and Sinistar Motorsports. And Kylie Kent trying to get her legs underneath of her, get a feel for driving these big machines. Just getting a feel for it. A nice job there for Kylie Kent. Take nothing away from her. She wasn't afraid of it. Again, got to get a feel to get that momentum. But a great job for her first competitive freestyle. A score of 9. It's going to be low, but she has nothing to be ashamed of there. Now the Rookie of the Year from the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. This is Elliott Miller's teammate, Athena Kozel, out of Mount Pleasant, Texas, representing the little Miss Dangerous name out of Michigan for Jeff and Jocelyn Perrin. And that is Elliott Miller's chassis that he campaigned in 2023 as Sinistar. Again, a lot of history on this truck. She's making it work for her, though. Another driver trying to get a feel for this thing. She's gotten better and better every weekend out. Tripped her up right there as she paces the top of the racing lanes, coming back toward the takeoff ramp. Runs an open front differential on this truck. That's why you will see sometimes when she goes into a turn, she'll get on the brakes and you actually see one tire keep rolling, one tire will be locked up, or you'll see one tire spinning like crazy and one tire just barely moving. There's nothing broken in there. She just does not run a locker in the front end. And some choose not to as she's getting used to driving this machine. Elliott Miller drove it like that very successfully. Getting the momentum a little bit more as she goes on into the run. I think she's lining up to hit this big bus. She said she wanted to make her first bus jump ever here in Fowlerville. And she does so. Trying to work it into a slap wheelie. Wheeling down the takeoff ramp. Athena Kozel wrapping up a solid run. I do believe, however, that John Kohler is going to continue to lead after the first part of our freestyle here. This almost got a little dangerous right there, living up to the moniker. And don't think she could have stabbed the brakes and worked that into a two-wheel move with that open front end right there. And again, the experience level will come up. Can't wait to see what she has for the fans in 2025. But she's definitely not afraid to drive this big Chevrolet out of the state of Michigan, the Texan. With a score of 14, 6 of 5 and a 3. So, John Kohler continues to lead, followed by Elliott Miller. And we are going to take a quick break and be back with more freestyle from here in Fowlerville, Michigan. Stay with us.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
Ready for the final half of freestyle here in Fowlerville, Michigan. Next machine rolling out onto the track, Joe Foley in act. Leading score right now, John Kohler with a 24. His teammate Joe Foley now coming after him. This truck wheelies with the best of them, maybe one of the most capable of the slap wheelies here. We know Elliott Miller laid down some good ones. Joe Foley throwing caution to the wind right now in the big red fire truck out of Columbus, Michigan. Foley out of Leicester, Massachusetts. Huge sky wheelie for Foley right there. We have seen him over the years, and we saw him earlier in this event. Pull wheel stands over top of other obstacles. He'll ride one all the way down the track, over the race lanes, over other freestyle obstacles if he can. What did I just say? Up and over the bus. He wheelies it from center track all the way over the starting line obstacles and then back with some awesome momentum. Some folks wondering when Foley is going to step into one of the newer gen Team Scream rides. I can tell you from talking to him, Joe Foley does not want to step out of this style of truck. He absolutely loves this V-Cradle Jim Kohler built number 2 chassis right here. And look at the wild ride that he takes coming back. Joe Foley laying down a short and sweet freestyle right there. The crowd loving every second of that one. Foley, no wasted moves on the run. Huge speed, huge momentum, some big hang time, and I have to believe some of the best wall-to-wall moves that we have seen. This right here, though, I believe is the move of the night so far, dragging the back bumper all the way up over the bus. A 26 jumps over teammate John Kohler by 2 points. Joe Foley in axe takes the lead as his boss, Mr. Excitement, Jim Kohler, rolls out of Columbus, Michigan now in the Adventure. That right there, he got a little sideways coming back over that race lane, over the center tabletop there. That tripped Tim Jones up last night. And Jones ended up on his roof. Kohler able to drive out of it here. And I have to believe the dry track here tonight is helping these guys out a ton. Big hang time for Kohler. I still don't believe anybody has rivaled John John Kohler's jump over that plus. He had to have been an honest 45 feet in the air in Megabyte. Right here, though, Avenger going after the two guys in front of him, and it's his own teammates. Jim Kohler, he's cut a tire, though. The right rear is down. And he's going to feel it right there. He has to know that rear tire is gone. Not going to let it stop him, though. Jim Kohler laying down a classic. But the transmission just said no more. You can hear him sing the motor and have to wonder if the transmission just got too hot or if he's broken maybe an input or output shaft. Saw a lot of blue smoke coming out from the cradle of that machine. Again, these Corey Rummel built trucks are built so solid, but they're built very, very heavy. So when things start to let go on them, they definitely let you know. Not a disappointing run by any stretch of the imagination, though, as the top three sitting in freestyle right now are Joe Foley and Axe, part of Team Scream, John Kohler and Megabyte, part of Team Scream, and the Michigan-based Frontier Truck Parts Sinistar of Elliott Miller. 26, 24, and 22 are the top three scores right now. Jim Kohler shooting for that 26. Was he able to jump over it? It was a good run, but I don't know that it's going to be enough to knock down Joe Foley, and it will not be. He ties Elliott Miller, though, for the number 3 spot. But I do believe Miller will hang on to the number 3 spot by virtue of being the first to lay down the 22. And look at this. John Zimmer Sr. rolling out in uproar, cross-threading the track from the pits, comes straight out and hits that center obstacle. Dare to be different. You're going to have to be at this point because just about everything out here has been hit except for the backflip ramp. Somebody will go after it before this night is over. And you see Zimmer using it to kick the rear end around right there. Thought he might be going for it. Again, former Gravedigger driver and another guy owes a big chunk of his career to the one and only Tim Bush, a guy who really mentored a lot of young talent in this, and now a future Hall of Famer, I do believe, and living legend. The flow in this run is excellent right now as Zimmer works the track to perfection, and he may be making it look too easy as he has been known to lay down some wild runs and have them kind of go unnoticed because the truck and that driver handle things so well. Cyclone time in Fowlerville. John Zimmer Sr. in uproar, going after the 26 of Joe Foley. Again, came roaring out of the pits, right up and over the tabletop where those cars are sitting. And again, you have to dare to be different on a night like this when everybody has hit just about everything out here. And again, the only thing that he left on the table really was that backflip. But I don't know, as good as this was, as much hang time, as much momentum, as good as the flow was, did he rival Joe Foley? Foley had some kind of specialty moves that worked in his favor, and this 2024 or 2023 gen built PEI chassis here that they debuted in January. Not going to do it, only a 20. That's kind of surprising. That was an excellent run for John Zimmer Sr. Now, here's a guy who won't accept anything less than perfection. One of the wildest men in this motorsport today, Tim Jones, the tailgater, a true monster truck driver if there ever was one. This guy is kind of stuck out of time. Really seems like a driver from a bygone era put in a modern machine. You can see he is unafraid of anything that gets in his way. Didn't even set it up right there. Just kind of got locked in and said, hey, I'm going for it. Got it on the front wheels, though. Didn't fail to move. So those are going to go right in his back pocket. Those are points that he just gained. See what he's doing over here. Something going on with Jones right now. A problem, maybe? I don't know. A little bit of smoke coming out of that machine right now. He may have had an issue right there, so he is going to have to work this thing. That just killed his momentum. Maybe a problem on tailgater. He has been fighting with his equipment all weekend long. His newest piece, his new Twisted Addiction. With problems here, he's going to try to fight this thing through the back half of this freestyle. I can tell you that right now. Something is not right in this truck. He can feel it. And he's just going to stand on it. Nothing new for him, though. He's fought through a broken truck before. It's not going to stop him. Thing is getting hot. What's he got? To the backflip ramp. Picks it back over. Under-rotated just a little bit. I say that. That's not taking anything away from Tim Jones. Just that odd bounce at the end puts him back over on his top, but he did complete the backflip. It was a rotation and a half for Tim Jones, and hey, crowd looking for a little carnage. He gave him some. He was going after that 26. That right there was a wild way to go over that center mount. And you see one of the advantages of the coilover shock package on this truck, the coils help that suspension return to a neutral position, so it'll level that truck out. Even if he damages those sway bars, it can actually help him level that truck back out. Some people call it an old school design. Not really. It's just a design that works, and you can see it worked very well for him throughout the run. Right there, just kicked off those front tires. He tried to stop it. You can see him lock the tires up, but was to no avail. Tried to get back on the throttle, hoping it would come out. It didn't happen, but Tim Jones just turned this crowd on in a big way. Here's another look at this flip from the ramp. Again, off the front wheels. You can see he's got them locked up. I have to believe he was hoping to stop that momentum, and you could see him get back into the throttle once it landed upside down. I think he was hoping he could stand on it and it would actually pull the front end back out and pull the rear end back down. It wasn't to be. Right there. Wings the throttle one more time in hopes that it would put him back on all four tires. A 23 for Tim Jones. That's a surprise. That is a big surprise. Did not expect him to land up with only a 23. Now, John Zimmer Jr. here to try to close this thing up. Axe still sitting in the number one spot. One Willis going after another. The 41 Willis machine. Terminal velocity going after the 41 Willis fire truck. And look at this. Zimmer cross-threading. He's going to have to try anything he can to jump over Joe Ford. Already lining up for the backflip ramp right off the bat. way back and around, and he has just done some damage to that truck, but it's not going to stop him. He's going to run this thing till it won't go anymore. Don't know if he broke a center section or a rear axle. He's definitely got problems though. He gets up on 2 tires. Didn't stop him there, and I do believe he just made that save with basically 1 wheel pulling. Indeed he did. He made that save with only the power of the right front tire and a slap wheelie on 1-wheel drive. He wants to give up, but I don't know that the truck's got any more for him. He's got to be losing oil pressure now. We can see a lot of smoke coming out of the back of that thing. He zinged that motor. He landed so hard off that backflip. John Zimmer coming out to the cheers of the fans. That was a good run. It was short and sweet, but was it enough to get over Foley? It was wild in its own right. And I have to mention again, he had a save in there. After that backflip, he had a save in there and a slap wheelie. And keep in mind, during both of those moves, he only had 1 drive or 1 tire pulling. So he only had drive out of 1 tire at any given time in those moves. That's very, very impressive in a run like this. Watch it right here. This save, only the right front is pulling. At 26, he ties Foley. We go down to Matt Looker.
And terminal velocity. When I say the truck's name, cheer only for the truck that you think should be our freestyle winner. Who thinks the freestyle winner was Joe Foley and Axe? And who thinks the winner was that man right there, John Zimmer Jr.? John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity. Well, buddy, they made you work for it today. Let me tell you what.
Oh man, you know, everyone was absolutely throwing it down. It's like the World Finals out here at the fairgrounds. Every single truck came out here and threw it down. I had no idea what I could do out there. I was sitting there, I'm facing the trailers. I can hear everybody getting down with it. I heard Tim Jones try to flip. He didn't land it. I knew I left the door wide open for me. I knew I had to come out here and stomp it. I've been fighting issues with my truck all night long and survived right till the end.
Let me tell you what, homecoming was sweet for you guys. You spent the entire weekend. No one else was able to take any hardware because you won everything. Who you got to thank for this?
I definitely got to thank my entire support group. You know, it's a huge list of people. Starting with that man right there, Leroy Don Doty with North Star Ranch in Caroline, Kent, Sending Motorsports. We started this a year ago. Just two young boys, including my dad. He had a dream just like I did. Now we're out here running our own trucks, running our own names like it should be. Without that man right there, it wouldn't be possible. Thank you.
Terminal velocity,
This Back Channel Productions presentation has been brought to you by Gemini Associates. Whether you live upstairs, downstairs, or anywhere in general, we are here to serve.